pussies, happy Friday. Even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes sometimes, and that is exactly what our guest today is here to teach us. I present to you Countess Luann from The Real Housewives of New York City. She's one of the greatest housewives of all time. On the original Real Housewives of New York, she is exactly who you would think she is. Just as charismatic, just as funny, just as incredible. Happy Friday. Enjoy the episode. I love you, pussies. To submit Tell Me What's Wrongs, go to passthatpuss.com and click Tell Me What's Wrong. Leave a name and number if you're feeling fancy. Love you, pussies. Hi, pussies, and welcome back to Therapuss. And reminder, never count out the Countess. And today, we have the one and only Countess Luann de Lesseps here with us. Hi.
Hi, darling. I love the way it just rolled off your tongue. People have a hard time with de Lesseps, right?
De Lesseps.
Right? But it's
Yes.
just like de Lesseps. Let it roll off. It's like Durla, people
Yeah,
get it wrong
yeah.
all the time. All the time.
Well, welcome to Therapuss. I am
Thank you.
so elated to have you here.
Thank you.
Are you, how long have you been, you're on this tour, you're on Countess Cabaret.
Countess Cabaret. This is my kind of greatest hits tour.
Right.
Last year I did Mary F. Kill, and had a great time. And so, every cabaret is different.
Right.
Like I played L.A. last year. Now I'm back at the Wiltern. But this is greatest hits. It's new music and new stories. And of course, I'm going to talk a bit about the Love Hotel
Right,
as I go
and
along.
how was filming the Love Hotel?
It was great. I had so much fun. They called me up and they're like, "Hey, Lou, we're going to send you on vacation for 3 weeks. We're going to pay you, of course, and we're going to find you guys." I'm like, "Yeah, habibi, I'm in. I am in." And so, because I've been single for quite a while now,
Right.
so I feel like right now I know exactly what I'm looking for. So the timing was absolutely perfect for me.
What are you looking for?
Well, tall, handsome, funny, classy, rich.
Yeah, as always.
Exactly.
I have been so excited.
And kind.
And kind.
Kind is really first on the list,
Right.
A man who's got not afraid to be vulnerable and show his real feelings. I like people who are in touch with themselves. I'm big on spirituality and people that are connected to, their inner child.
Have you always been connected to spirituality?
I found spirituality really after I divorced the Count. It was a rough spot for me. And so I went to Deepak Chopra and I realized, oh my God, there's an actual being in here.
Right.
It's just this, because we all wear our masks, right? Like I was a TV personality, back in the day when I lived in Milan. I was working for Italian television. I was a model before that. So it's always been about, right? The face.
Right.
And so I discovered, there's much more to me that lurks underneath the face.
Right, 100%. When you were doing Love Hotel, did it remind you of your days on Real Housewives of New York, or was it a different experience?
Oh, totally different. In the Housewives, it's all about, let's take her down. You know what I mean? Let's find a way to get under her skin. And, Love Hotel was really, we were each other's wingmen.
Right.
And that was refreshing for me. And I wouldn't, for me, Housewives, unless we're going on an ultimate girls trip, I did for 13 years. And God knows, I had to deal with Bethany. Good luck with that. I mean, it's like walking on eggshells. And so it was really a refreshing show for me to do because, we were there for each other. We were there to give each other advice, support each other, and really the drama lies with the guys.
Right. So you don't talk to Bethany anymore, or do you?
No, not really.
Right.
Not really.
That we were quoting that earlier today.
Yeah. I love that moment, which is, I think, better than even be cool, don't be like all uncool, is the, would you care if there was a naked guy in the bed next to you? I'm like, not really. I'd be taking selfies by now.
Yeah.
Look, there's a naked guy. Here I am, man.
That felt so, to me, unfair of Heather to get mad at everybody during that. It just felt like she was looking for problems.
What people miss is that Ramona pulls the sheets over her head and goes, go and talk to Lou.
Yeah.
So she punts the ball to me, right? And it's actually her guy that's upstairs,
Right.
not mine, because my guy left at 3:00 in the morning because I said, you have to go because I have to film tomorrow.
Right.
So you got to go. And he figured out how to get home.
Right.
Well, Ramona's guy, he wasn't that clever.
Yeah.
So, Ramona probably said, just go and sleep because Bethany left the night before.
Right.
And that situation was that Heather and Carol had a room next to Bethany and it shared a bathroom. So when they went to the bathroom, they saw a naked man's ass staring at them.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't even my guy's ass. It was,
Right. It was
Ramona's guy's ass.
Do you still talk to Ramona?
Of course, yes. Ramona,
still...
Ramona's doing great. She has a boyfriend now.
Oh, amazing.
And so she's very happy, and she's living her best life over in Palm Beach.
Do you still call her the singer-stinger?
Well, no, our relationship has changed so much. I mean, I actually play a scene during my shows, which is the moment she tried to blackmail me, and we're in Central Park. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes,
She's
of
like,
course.
But look at my nails. Aren't my nails fabulous? And I'm looking at her like, are you crazy? You're blackmailing me? You want me to look at your nails?
Yeah.
But she's changed. She's happy now.
Right.
She's not, because I think a lot of the problems were that there was a certain amount of trying to take down the Countess.
Right.
Right. And, and I talk about this also in my show, which is, they always gave me a hard time about that. What they didn't know is that the de Lesseps, were responsible for the Suez Canal, the Panama Canal, and actually gave the Statue of Liberty to the United States of America for the French.
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
Oh,
go
my
and see
goodness.
The Statue of Liberty, it's Ferdinand de Lesseps.
Oh, wow.
Who presented it for the French. That's how important he was. So the title does not come from a Cracker Jacks box. It's real. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I'm very proud of, my children are born from this family, and my husband's father was the ambassador of Monaco for 40 years with Prince Renier, and this was my life.
Right.
And they were always not happy about that.
No, yeah.
They didn't like that I had this aristocratic background. I'm just a girl from Connecticut.
Of course.
Who ended up marrying into French aristocracy. Now, we married 2 weeks later.
Right.
So when he said, I'm a count, I go, like Count Dracula? How does that work? I mean, so, whoopsie. I married a French aristocrat. Became a countess. Tiddy!
Right.
Like I say. I say in the show.
Who do you think out of all the Roni girls were the most jealous of your Countess title?
Bethany.
Really?
Yeah, probably. Well, let's think back. When Bethany started the show,
yes,
I'm married to a French aristocrat. I have 2 gorgeous children. I've got the house in the Hamptons with a swimming pool. But not like Alex and Simon with the blow-up pool, right? Right? And I've got everything that she wants.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So who wanted to take me down the most? It was she, for sure. Right. It was her.
Was it ever hard? Were you ever able to separate your relationships with the girls on screen versus off screen, or was it all just very real and very in it?
Well, it was very real, and I was in it. But like Jill would get an episode and go, "Oh, let's watch it," and I'm like, "I want to sleep well tonight, okay?" So
right.
I'll watch it in the morning, but I'm not going to see it before I go to bed because there's always something you wish you said or you wish you didn't say. Because, you're flying by the seat of your pants.
Right.
So you better be fast, right? So, and I think that's what makes a good housewife, is like, for me, I separated my family from the show. You won't see my kids a lot on the show. You won't see the Count a lot on the show because, it's really was our decision as a family to do the show, but you go ahead and you do you.
Right.
My kids are artists. They're not fame seekers or fame mongers. Otherwise, you would know more about them.
Of course.
But they are, successful artists in their own right, and I respect that, and they respect me for what I do. But I always tried to keep my family separate. Like when we started filming, I literally said to production, "You see that door? That's my master bedroom. Don't go near it."
Yeah. And did production ever?
No,
they never.
crossed
They
that line.
respected you and all that.
Totally.
Amazing.
People think that they show up with cameras. No, it's produced and edited show, right, with the schedule, right. So I would say, no, you can't come at 10. You come at 11. But we used to get away with a lot more of that. Like for example, Scary Island. I didn't go on that trip, right? So it was Victoria's birthday. So I said to them, "I'm sorry, it's my daughter's birthday. I am not going on that trip." And I didn't. And you know what? It's better I didn't because if I was there, Scary Island would not be the same.
Right. But
because I would have been there for Kelly.
Oh, you would have been
when
there.
When they were all bullied her to the point where she went, off the deep end.
That's what you think happened? That they
100%.
Okay, got it. And do you still talk to Kelly?
Yes, I do. She finally brought me to a Rangers game.
Oh, amazing. Do you think that did you understand the severity of Scary Island once they all got back, or was it only until it aired?
No, I think it got picked up in the press before that.
Really?
Yeah, because she traveled back earlier. She had to leave because they were scared for her mental health. Rightly so, because So yeah, I heard, of course, about it. And, Jill wasn't there either. So so I said to Kelly, don't go.
Right.
Because I knew she wouldn't be able to handle them, you know. But she gave us Scary Island. So we will forever be grateful to you, Kelly.
Yes, thank you, Kelly Ben Simone. Jill and Bethany's fallout. Do you have any did you think both of them were wrong, or did you think one side was leaning more correct?
I don't even remember what the feud was about, to tell you the truth. Do you?
Bethany was, I think, gaining more traction and not calling Jill enough, and Jill got very upset.
Yeah. So Bethany was there to build herself up, obviously, right? She, Jill also, she had Bobby. Jill's got money. Bethany had nothing, right? So she's climbing up that ladder, isn't she? And she doesn't care how many stairs she breaks on the ladder, does she? So, Jill is kind-hearted and a good girl, girl's girl. And, I think Bethany came in and took what she could and it behooved her to get rid of Jill.
Ooh. Do you have a favorite memory from the show or a favorite trip you ever went on?
Oh, I have to say Marrakech because
iconic.
That was really my trip.
Yeah.
They were like third world country. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is Marrakech. It's North Africa. Hell. Anyway, so that trip, between this is not the Plaza Hotel, Ramona, okay?
Right.
Almost getting killed on a camel and seeing Jill in a fanny pack in the souk is just I will never go out of my memory. And of course, that's where the Herman Munster shoes came along and
Buffalo coming down the stairs.
Even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes. Yeah. There were so many good things happening on that trip, including her interrupting our henna session.
Yes. And you don't talk to Alex anymore, do you?
Well, she lives down under, so we don't get a chance. No, but I don't have anything against, Alex.
What was it like, though, filming with Simon? Because he always wanted to be involved with the girls, right?
Yeah, he did. He was just another housewife. Simon, he's actually an interesting guy in many ways. A little too into, the show. Right. And, he's not my type, kind of in terms of guys. To be quite honest. And, but, it was always odd because it's like, why don't you stay home, right? It's like, I don't bring my husband everywhere. No, well, you stay home and let your wife do her thing. So he's always, trying to get in on the scene. And so, it's like having, an extra housewife along that you didn't quite invite.
Right. So you agreed with Ramona when she was like, I don't want him here.
Right.
Yeah.
This is girl talk. You can't really, talk about certain things when your husband's hanging around.
Right.
Right.
Were you guys, as like a cast, expecting the show to kind of blow up the way it did, or were you all pleasantly surprised?
We were, first of all, the first season we got paid $10,000 for the entire season.
No.
Yeah, because it's a pilot.
Right.
It's a pilot. Well, 18 episodes later.
Yeah.
So no, we were not expecting it to blow up the way it did, and I think the timing was right. Sex and the City was over, Desperate Housewives was over, so we kind of filled the void, in that space, which was kind of like Sex and the City.
Right.
And by the way, Candace Bushnell is one of my best friends. I love Candace.
Oh wow.
Yeah, love her.
Was there ever a moment during, because you were on the show that entire run, was there ever a moment where you were like, I can't do this anymore, I'm done?
Every season.
Really?
Am I going to do this again?
Right.
But listen, there's a lot of drama going on. There's a lot of positioning and all that stuff, but we really had a great time. Mm-hmm. You get to go on vacation with your girlfriends and get paid, right? So the benefits outweighed the negative.
Right, of course.
For me.
And do you feel as though the new Roni cast is doing it justice at all, or?
They're not us. Let's just put it that way. And I think a more diverse cast, yeah, maybe a little younger, but, they're successful. They're beautiful women, but they're just not us. It's not the same story because, friendships are so important. We were really friends. And I think that is the problem that new casts have is like they're kind of thrown together and they don't have, the let's say they don't know where the skeletons are buried. Like we know where all the skeletons are buried.
Right.
And, it's like, you better watch it because I've got,
Yeah.
And I remember, we used to dig stuff up on each other. Like, I'm going to put this in my back pocket. I'm going to use that for later. You know what I mean? We were very, we go way back.
Right.
Like, so, we just go way back. And so I think it's really hard to duplicate that kind of relationship.
Who do you feel was the one in the group that was the most out of place during your filming? Like the one that like wasn't really a part of the friend group and didn't really fit in?
Carol. I mean, Carol, Carol, I know because of her association with the Kennedys. I mean, but Carol's not a housewife. Carol's, single, living in a small flat downtown, right? So,
Right.
So there was always, but Carol, Bethany embraced her until she didn't embrace her.
Right. Why do you think she stopped embracing her? Because
Well, I think that I don't want to get into it, but Aviva was not wrong.
got it. Understood.
So we don't like, I don't like people that are not honest.
Right. Ooh, okay. Was there anybody in the cast that would leak stuff to the press a lot?
Bethany.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And how did you guys find out?
Well, when my name is on page 6, I know it's Bethany who called them.
Wow. And was it
Sonia, too.
really?
Oh, Sonia Rita.
Would she own it?
Love my Sonia Rita, but
Would Sonia?
she's friends with everybody at page 6.
Would she own it though? Would she be like, "Yeah, I did that"?
Probably not.
Right. Okay. And
Or would Bethany?
right. And when Aviva threw her leg.
Did you see me? I'm cracking up.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the woman's leg is on the table, and I'm like, her dirty shoe is next to my silverware. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm laughing about myself, really, at how ridiculous the whole situation is. What about her leg on the table?
Like, was everyone like,
Well,
oh my God?
that scene is just epic. I actually used that scene when I talk about the Housewives in the show. And my reaction, the audience is laughing their asses off because I'm like sitting there with my turquoise necklace on, like giggling, like cracking up. I think, it was just once you throw your leg on the table, what's left?
Right. Who is the worst? Who is the worst person to film with? And who was your favorite to film with on the flip side? So both.
Okay. Well, I love filming with Sonia Rita because, those scenes where I'm staying in her townhouse,
Right.
I'm in between boys, in between homes. And so, yeah, Sonia Rita. And gosh, the worst. I don't have a worst really.
Right.
I enjoy all the girls for their personalities. You know what I mean? Tinsley, I had fun with. I had fun with all the girls, really. I was always the one trying to navigate the negative energy coming my way. Like, where are the truffle fries? I'm like admiring my poster in Miami.
Yeah.
And they want truffle fries. And they're mad because I went swimming. Really?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm always trying to defend myself most of the time. I'm not the gaslighter of the group.
Yeah, you were never really the instigator.
No, I
you
was
were
not.
always
Trying to defend myself.
Yes, exactly.
True.
Do you think in that scene where Bethany didn't call you the Countess before you guys entered the car, do you think she did that on purpose?
No. It wasn't. It was Mrs. Deliceps. It wasn't Countess. It was because, listen, I lived in Europe for a long time. Right? So I was not used to first name basis with any, you know what I mean? Somebody I don't know. Right? So it was just a kind of a carryover from the lifestyle that I lived.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, I'm Mrs. Deliceps. Hey, and Joe, this is Lou. I mean, no.
Yeah.
And sorry. I know it looked like, oh God, she's such a snob, but that's not who I am. I mean, in Europe, I'm Countess Deliceps.
Right.
Not Mrs. Deliceps, I'm Countess Deliceps. So, you know what I mean? I was not used to this familiarity just coming back to the States, which is basically what happened.
And you spoke about, obviously, not including your family in the show, but was the Count and your children, like, were they so supportive of everything you were doing?
They were. I mean, Noel did his little breakdance number on the
Yes,
show.
of course.
Which he still regrets today. We got Aston, our dog, on the show. So yeah, the kids have always been, they played along.
Right.
But I didn't put them in harm's way.
Of course.
And the count was like, if he showed up, it's like a miracle.
Right.
So, I didn't want them to be on the show really because, it was really about our relationships, with the women.
Right. And who? So
my relationship with the women, I should say.
Of course. And so you guys were all a friend group before filming started, or was any of them added? Like, how did the dynamics work?
So how the show started is that I was at a party. Actually, it was the movie premiere of Sicko, with Michael Moore's movie, and I was with Tommy Hilfiger, who's a friend of mine because he married a girlfriend of mine who's from Monaco, and Dee. And so anyway, so I'm with Dee, and then I see a guy buying shots, and I brought my niece with me. She's like 23 at the time. He's buying a shot for my niece. So I go over there. I go, "You're buying a shot for her. You have to buy one for me then."
Yeah.
So, and his name was Bobby Zarin.
Oh.
And then he said, then I see a redhead coming my way. "Hi, I'm Jill Zarin." And that's where I meet Jill.
Yeah.
Right. And so Jill and I hung out like the whole time. I was fascinated by her because I'd never met anybody like that in my life.
Right.
First of all, she's not just Jill, she's Jill Zarin from Long Island. And I was like, whoa, she's incredible. And I just loved her personality. She's bubbly, full of life. She doesn't stop talking. And so not me. But I like people that are authentic. And Jill is authentic, right? So she then, after we part, I had a card because I was like working on trying to build my television career in the States.
Right.
I was doing some specials for like CBS morning shows and things like that. I did the Royal Windows at Barney's with Simon Doonan. And so I did some spots for CBS, and I was trying to get my way back into television because I used to work for Italian television years ago. And so I give her my card, and Jill reaches out and she says, "I've got a TV show I think you're going to be perfect for. Come." So I meet the producers, and that's how I got on the Housewives.
Oh, wow.
So it came to me really, just happened.
So Jill kind of had her hand in forming the OG cast?
Yeah. And then but I knew Ramona kind of socially a little bit. I would see her here and there.
Uh-huh.
Bethany was brought in by Jill.
Got it.
Okay. She found a way in. Bethany. Alex and Simon, I think they found online. It's true. That is true. Right? Kind of your wannabe couple.
Yeah.
Right? And then they rented that shitty house in the Hamptons, remember?
Yes, and do you remember? Of course, you remember when they were doing
trying to keep up with the Joneses. Well, it didn't work out so great.
Do you remember
and then they go into the opera or whatever they go to, and they're waiting for the photographers, and nobody's there. Nobody cares. Yeah. It's just too funny. And who else am I thinking? Who else are we missing?
I think it was Jill.
Sonia took 3 years for her to get on. She was terrified.
Oh, but she was asked initially.
No.
Okay.
No, Sonia, well, maybe she was asked, but she didn't want to come on because she was scared. Then she saw how well it was going for us, and she jumped in season 3.
Right.
That's where Sonia Rita came along.
And do you remember Alex and Simon's house that was under construction, and they kept having people over, and it was like a literal construction hazard zone?
Right? It's like, this is why we go to restaurants in New York,
What's your favorite restaurant in New York?
It's really around the corner for me because I love Italian food because I used to live in Milan, and it's like the closest thing to Italy is called Bella Blue. I love Avra, I like Bel Bouquet. There's, I've got my little circle of restaurants that I love.
Of course. Okay, you wrote a book on etiquette in 2009. If you had to rewrite that book again today, what would be different and what would be the same?
I think everything would be the same. I would add a chapter for dating at this point in my life.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, right?
Amazing.
So, and I'm working on an audiobook. Can you believe there's no audiobook for Class with the Countess?
No.
It's shameful.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Are you excited?
I'm excited about that. And I'm going to add a little chapter, which is about dating at this point in life.
Do you feel like all the rules still hold up?
Absolutely.
Which one do you think is the most important?
Money can't buy you class.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Nice.
Cheers. Eyes.
Eyes?
You know, eyes.
Eyes?
He knows when you toast, you have to look someone in the eye.
Yes. If I said, teach me how to have proper etiquette, what would be the first thing you would teach me?
Well, etiquette really is about respect for others, right?
Right.
And I think the most important thing is being comfortable in your own skin, right? Because if you're not comfortable, other people are going to feel your uncomfort.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's, when you walk into the room, have a smile on your face and be comfortable with who you are.
100%.
I think it really starts with you, right? And being comfortable. And so other people are comfortable.
Right.
Right? When you get to somebody's house, they're not, everything's everywhere. They're not prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're discombobulated and whatever. So, that's not comfortable, right? So a good host, they're ready for you to give you time, respect your time, right? Which is to have a glass of champagne in your hands and, and the music going, because music sets the whole tone of my life.
Right.
For me, I love music. It makes me happy.
Did you always know that you wanted to go into music, or did it just come to you?
I've always been, I recorded some cover songs years ago when I was even in Switzerland, married to the Count, and the kids were young. So I was always recording music, wanted to do stuff with music. In fact, when I did Money Can't Buy You class, I went to a producer I was introduced to, and he goes, "What do you want to sing about?" I said, "I don't know, but I just wrote a book." He goes, "Can I see it?" So I hand him the book, and if you know my book, there's takeout lines everywhere.
Right.
Elegance is learned, money can't buy you glass. So he starts taking out these lines, and that's how Money Can't Buy You class was made.
Is that one of your favorite songs you've ever written?
Yeah, that and Giovanni.
Oh, Giovanni. That's his favorite.
And Chic, and, I love Viva La Diva. That's all about the Statue of Liberty. It's not really, I'm not the diva in it.
Viva La Diva is about the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Because who's the biggest diva of them all?
The Statue of Liberty.
Correct.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Darling, I could teach you so many things.
Please, what else do you have to teach me?
Listen,
I'm here to learn.
I wish I had more, I wish I knew more back then than, that I know now from, years of experience, right? Of people and television and, knowing who to trust and not to trust and knowing, who you want to have around you, right?
What is the one thing you really did wish you learned starting out when you were on TV on the first season of Housewives to now? What is the one thing, if you could go back and be like, I wish I knew this back then?
It's a good question. I wish I knew, well, I don't know. That's a good question. I have to think about that one. Let's circle back on that.
We'll circle back.
Let's circle back on that question.
Well, I have another question for you. Who do you think had the worst etiquette on the show? And who do you think had the best besides you?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Okay.
I don't like to, you know what I mean? You see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I've been around for so long.
Right. Pleading the fifth.
That's what, nobody likes to hear that they're not classy, right?
Right.
And, and then I wrote chic.
Right.
To follow up on classy.
Yeah.
To follow up on money. Let's put it that way. If you don't think you're great, nobody else will. Circling back to, the Housewives at the beginning.
Right.
Being in the position of whatever they say is their problem, not mine. Right? So, maybe being affected by what others think of me. No, I'm not as affected as, it takes time to get a thick skin.
Right. And was it hard to get adjusted to that at first when you, you guys weren't prepared, right, for the onslaught of, Bravo fans to come in, right, with, every opinion under the sun?
Yeah, exactly. We used to blog back then. We used to write blogs.
Right.
Remember, it was a big thing, and people were, writing blogs and writing back at us, and, it was a whole thing. We never expected. How could you be prepared for that? It's like somebody having a child. You can't tell them how to prepare. You really can't. It's very hard to school somebody on something that they've never experienced, right? Same thing with Housewives. We learned as we went along. We had no idea that this was going to take off into a high-speed train.
Right. What do you think are some of the key elements that makes a good housewife?
Someone who doesn't have fear, right? If you have anxiety and fear, it's not a place for you.
Yeah.
You have to listen. I've been at it for a long time, and not being afraid to speak up, not being afraid to be who you actually are, and I think a lot of housewives are like that. They're calculated and they're not going to show this part, they're not going to show that part. I think being honest is the most important thing, right? Within reason, meaning protecting yourself and your family. But I think the camera doesn't lie. And I think a lot of people come on trying to be this person when they're really kind of that person. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think the most important thing to make a good housewife is really being forthright and honest.
Was there an arc or a housewife you remember that came on a certain type of way and you knew that they weren't like that and you were just waiting for the cameras to show who they really were? Do you ever remember a moment in housewife history that
Well, I
happened
think
with
Kelly, I think Kelly, I don't think Kelly understood how to manage Bethany for sure not.
Right.
Because then we don't say, I'm here and you're there
Right.
to somebody who's trying to get there.
Right. Right.
So, I think that Kelly, it took her a while. That's why I wanted to bring her back on Ultimate Girls Trip. I blew her up. Andy said, wow, she's really doing great now. And, she got her real estate license. She went back to school. Very proud of what she's accomplished since the show. And so I wanted for fans to get I wanted to give Kelly another chance to redeem herself.
Were you upset when she initially left the show?
Was I upset? Well, I think it would have been better to keep her on.
Right.
But I guess they, maybe were worried about how she would, move forward.
Right. Of course. Of course. And so
and that was like 10 years ago. I mean, that was 10 years ago. She left after a couple seasons.
Right. Yeah. I think she left after Scary Island, right? Yeah. I mean, that was the breaking point of it all. Of all, and you really do feel like they bullied her on that trip, right?
Yeah.
What makes you say that they bullied her?
Well, I don't think anybody really had her back.
Right.
So when you have 5 girls, they're going, it's tough
100%.
when you don't have one who's going like, hey, she had nobody to talk to.
Right.
Right. So she had nobody to help her through it, navigate. And so I think it's very hard, when you have 5 kids coming after you, right?
Yeah.
And kids can be cruel.
And do any of them acknowledge now that what had happened was cruel? Like,
no, I don't think so. I think that they're used to each other's banter. Kelly was just unprepared. And who is prepared, right, for that kind of, for jelly beans.
yeah. Oh my God.
Jelly beans, marshmallows. I don't know. What did you say? Jelly beans? Whatever. Gummies?
I think it was jelly beans,
It
right?
was jelly beans for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, Mrs. Telesepps, I am so excited.
Mrs. Telesepps. You can call me Luann. Don't.
Okay, amazing.
Or most people like to call me Countess.
Okay, Countess.
Because they just like throwing the title out there, right? Which is, so you can call me Luann or Countess. Up to you.
Countess, what is it that you are therapist about today?
I'm looking at all your awards over there.
Well, they're all fake. They're all fake. They're all fake.
Is that Puss University? What?
Yes, that's Puss University. So this is
that's where the little octopus comes in.
Yes, this is Cassandra. That's Patrick.
Oh, hello, Patrick.
Yes.
Hello, Charlie.
That's Aquaripus behind you.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, and there's another one. What's
Yeah.
that one?
You can name them. I don't think they have a name.
Oh. Okay.
You've reinvented yourself so many times. What is your advice for someone that is wanting to reinvent themselves or go down a different lane in life?
Well, we only have today, right? There's no yesterday, and there's no guarantee of tomorrow, right? So go out there and get it, whatever it is. You got to grab life. Sorry. You have to take life, by the horns, right? And just, I say that because, I like to live life one moment at a time. And, I don't really care about time. I just care about having a good time.
Well, yeah. And what has been your favorite project that you've ever done, whether it be Cabaret or the book or
Cabaret.
Housewives? Cabaret.
You know what I love about Cabaret? I get to do anything I want, meaning creatively, right? So I can sing whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. And I love that part because I pick music that I love. And then I go, okay, how am I going to get into that song with a story? Because Cabaret is about your story. It's a personal story. Life is a cabaret. Say that because we write our own story. Nobody writes it for you. It's you who writes it. So I pick a song that I love, and then I write the story that gets into the song, that brings you in. And then I pick the perfect Giovanni dress to go along with it.
Of course.
Like when I sing Tina Turner, so I sing Tina. What's love got to do with it? So I pick a dress, of course, that's fringy and really short and all legs, right? So I have, the most fun I have is creating my cabaret shows.
Amazing. And what was it like bringing that cabaret to the girls on the show? Like, did you feel as though they were welcoming to it, or?
Hell, but that's how I got Giovanni.
Right.
Giovanni! Thank you, Dorinda.
Do you still talk to Dorinda?
Of course. Dee and I are very close. I love Dee.
Amazing. Was she?
I'm due for a visit to the Berkshires.
Oh my God.
Without cameras.
Right. I mean, that house was just the scene of so many.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that scene where I end up sleeping with Bethany and Sonia in the same room.
Yeah.
I'm like, water. We had crazy night. Water. We had such a crazy night. We were like dancing on the pool table. I mean, we had such a crazy night. And, and Dee always trying to make it nice. You know?
Right. Right.
Those were epic trips, yeah.
Those were the trips.
Yeah.
Aside from Morocco, which was your trip, what was your favorite?
Probably, even though I fell into the bushes, I don't care. It was Mexico.
Yeah.
That Mexico trip was great.
So have you thought about what you're a therapist about?
No. Should I have? Nobody gave me that note.
Well, you don't have to. Is there anything you're angry about today?
I'm therapist that I don't have a name for this cutie pie over here.
Oh, right.
So we're going to think of one.
We'll think of one before.
We'll think of one.
We'll think of one before
Don't
shows.
you worry, darling.
My final question about Housewives, just for you, was what is the moment in the show that you remember being the most angry at the situation or being the most heated and in the moment during a fight?
Well, I mean, I love the scene in the Berkshires where, Bethany comes in with the same haircut. And then she's like in my face telling me how many guys that I slept with, which is so untrue. And I go, you need to get laid. And then I say, well, am I the Kim Cattrall of the family or what? So that was one of my finest moments. And I think the fight we got into at a fashion show was probably one of the most heated that I've had. And, and everyone going, life is not a cabaret. Not everybody, Bethany in particular. That was a terrible moment for me because they were all against me. Right? And you know what? I just sat there and I said nothing.
Right.
Then I just let her go off. And she looks crazy. Right? And guess where I am? Living my best life doing cabaret all over the world.
100%. What is your favorite place you've ever performed?
London.
London?
Oh my God. London. Tilda Swinton introduced me to the stage.
Oh.
That was like, you know what? I could fall down and die. I mean, I was dead. First of all, Tilda Swinton, I met last year at Mighty Hoopla, which is a festival that I do. And she invited me to go to Scotland, which I did. And we became close friends. And then she sent me flowers. I was playing the Adelphi Theatre in London, which is the home of Sunset Boulevard and Andrew Lloyd Webber, the most epic theater you can play. That's Broadway.
Right.
And so she sent me flowers saying, I'm gutted, darling, that I can't come tonight. I get to my dressing room and there she is with her entire family. To surprise me. I was like a cat on a hot tin roof, I was like this. I was like, and what a surprise, because nobody's ever surprised me like that.
Right.
I loved it. And, and then she would go on to introduce me to the stage. Tilda Swinton in London, introducing me. Ugh, I mean, that was epic.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's a pinch me moment for sure.
That and singing with Natalie Cole, on the Housewives, I sang with Natalie Cole, and that's where I really started cabaret after that. And she passed away now, but I was very fortunate that I got to know her.
Yeah. Wow.
Rest in peace, Natalie.
Congratulations on just everything.
Thanks, Jake. This was so fun.
We're not done yet.
We're
not
can't go.
done yet. So my favorite part of the show is the pussies, the people watching. They write in.
Is that money?
They tell us what's wrong in their life, and we give them advice.
Oh, got you. Okay.
And I think you would just do a fabulous job at it.
Okay. All right.
We just found out that one of our best friends was using her parents' credit card to pay for group meals and was pocketing everybody's money for years.
That is not cool. That's like all uncool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's stealing.
You think that's stealing?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Right? I'm taking stealing from her parents, really.
No. So I think what they're saying is her parents would give her the card to pay for dinner.
Oh, got you.
And then she'd have all her friends pay her back, but just keep the money instead of giving it to her parents.
Well, yeah, that's stealing. That's what I call stealing.
Right. So that's
especially because the parents are like, treat your friends, and now she's putting the money in her pocket. That's
Do you think she should say, like, no, keep your money, like, you don't need to pay me, like, my parents are paying?
Well, I don't think she has to say anything.
Right.
Never complain and never explain, darling.
Oh, period.
Rules to live by.
Never complain and never explain.
Nobody wants to hear it.
Okay. A guy friend came to visit a girlfriend of mine, but spent the whole night flirting with me instead. Called my eyes ethereal and said I changed his life. For context, I'm also a guy. What does this mean?
He's gay. No?
Or bisexual.
Or bisexual. Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I told a few close friends about a guy I really liked. A little bit later, one of them is now secretly dating him.
That's a broken girl code right there.
Right.
That's what that song's all about.
Yeah.
Right? You broke the girl code. Right? That's about Heather.
That's about Heather?
It's about Heather and calling me out for having a guy.
Right.
Breaking the girl code.
Yeah, I hated that she did that. It gave us a great moment, but I didn't think it was fair. Especially also when she's looking around and she's like, well, have you checked your watches?
They were on a manhunt. And
Yeah.
you see them running around the house like maniacs because we had dudes over. I'm like, really?
Was it that serious?
No. I mean, there was a naked ass staring at them from the bathroom. But like I said, I would have been taking selfies myself.
Right. So do you think Heather had the worst girl code on the show?
Well, I mean, I wrote that song based on that situation.
Right.
Which is, hey, girls, you're married. That's your problem, not mine.
Yeah. My best friend says she hates my boyfriend, but flirts with him when I'm not around. I don't want to ruin our friendship, but I need her to stop. What is my course of action?
So her girlfriend is flirting with her guy.
Yeah, but says she hates him too.
Says she hates him.
Yeah.
Well, that's just this fucked up situation.
Right.
Get rid of her.
Do you think just cut her off?
Well, it's one or the other. Somebody's got to go.
Yeah.
Either it's the guy. Well, if the guy's flirting with your bestie, then that's a red flag.
Right, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So a cut off maybe for one of them.
Somebody needs a timeout.
My boyfriend peed the bed twice and lied about it, insisting
I would lie too.
insisting it was just sweat. The second time, I found out from his brother, not him. He says he's just embarrassed, but is that a reason to lie? It feels to me like a harmless lie.
Yeah, it's a white lie, like the pirate story. It's
Right.
a white lie.
Right. And white lies are okay sometimes.
White lies are okay in order not to either offend somebody,
Right.
hurt somebody, or make them think less of you.
Sometimes
Those are
lies are a
necessary.
defense mechanism.
Absolutely.
Right. So maybe,
I wouldn't want anybody to know, right?
Right, that I peed the bed. Of course not.
Right. I mean, like Sonia, she wore diapers because she didn't want anybody to know that she shit her pants. After the Cartagena trip, we all got diarrhea. It was terrible. That Cartagena trip nobody knows about, and I talk about that in my show too because we almost got killed on that boat. But I feel like people don't know that episode from Cartagena. You know what I mean? That scene where we're all, we get almost killed on a boat and then we all have diarrhea. Ramona's shitting on the floor. Sonia's wearing diapers. Half of us shit our beds. I mean, it was terrible. It's terrible, that trip.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. We got food poisoning on the island as well. It's not only got killed on the boat, we got food poisoning. I mean, what a trip from hell.
Oh, my God. I had a 2-day whirlwind vacation romance with a guy that I truly vibed with. We met each other's families. Then, 30 minutes before I left, he told me he had a girlfriend, but that he's still down to text. I kind of want to, but would that be his fault or mine?
Oh God, what was this story again?
She fell in love with a guy, and then
Okay.
after
They were on vacation with their
Yes,
families.
it was a 2-day whirlwind.
Mutual families on vacation with a guy. She's dating.
Yeah. And then he told her at the end of the 2 days, by the way, I have a girlfriend. And she's like, but I don't want to stop texting him. So would that be my fault or his?
He says, she says he doesn't want to stop texting her. She says
Both. It goes both ways.
it goes both ways.
But he has a girlfriend.
Well, either you're down that the dude has a girlfriend or you're not.
Right.
So
I would say maybe she shouldn't and tell him, like, you need to break up with her in order
well,
to keep...
I feel like, you know, when you're done with her, then send me a text.
Yeah. Great advice.
Right?
That's what I think, too.
Yeah.
My friend keeps telling me she's in a manipulative relationship, but when she tells me her problems, it kind of sounds like she's the manipulator. Should I keep it real with her?
Yeah.
I also think so.
Yeah. I mean, you got to call people out if you're friends.
Right.
I mean, if you don't give a shit, then you don't call people out because who cares? But if it's somebody you care about and you notice that they keep doing this, you know, it's like people with negative energy. You know, you have optimists, you have pessimists. You know,
Right.
I have a story. So there's an optimistic and a pessimistic and an optimistic mosquito. They both go to the same party.
Okay.
And the pessimist says, the mosquito goes, oh, that party was terrible. The food was awful. In fact, when I arrived, people were trying to kill me. And the optimist says, I went to that same party. I thought the food was delicious. In fact, when I arrived, everybody started clapping. Right? So there's two ways of looking at life, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know where we're going with that. I've forgotten.
It's a beautiful story.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
So be optimistic and yeah, go.
Yeah. Do you feel as though the show the Housewives taught people how to confront their issues instead of hiding it? Or
I think that, yeah, I think a certain way because, you know, you get called out. And
Right.
then, right? Because
Yeah.
somebody calls you out or somehow you call yourself out, right? So I think it's a way, you know, listen, I feel like the Housewives, it's a living photo album of my life, right? I see my children grow up. I see, you know, Aston getting older. I see myself getting divorced. I see my old house, which I don't own anymore. I have a new house in the Hamptons. And, you know, so I just feel like I feel like that I get to learn from watching myself. Like,
Right.
I can't believe I said that, or I can't believe I didn't say that.
Right.
You know, I should have chimed in. You know, but there's no shoulda, woulda, coulda, right?
Right.
So, but it's, you know, you learn from watching yourself after all these years, like how to be better at it, which is how to be a better human, how to be a better friend, how to be a better, you know, wingman.
And that's what you get to do on your new show, Love Hotel.
Love Hotel, exactly. And I love that show because it's so different from the Housewives. We're there to be each other's wingmen. We're there to support each other and, you know, have a lot of fun along the way. And, you know, and this is why I love Cabaret is because, you know, I get to talk about all my experience. I get to share stories that people don't know. Like I'm sure you learned a lot about me today that
I
you
did,
didn't know.
absolutely did.
And that's what happens at my Cabaret. You know, people are like, oh, because you never get to see my cabaret on the show. It's always
Right.
the drama surrounding my cabaret. So you don't, and of course, music rights. So they're not going to pay for me to sing. You know, I sing Tears for Fears now. I sing a lot of different music aside from my, you know, my classics. And so you never really get to see my cabaret show. So when people come to my show, they're like, OMG, this is an amazing show. Because I work really hard at Cabaret. And I work with the best people in the business. You know, Richard J. Alexander is my director. He worked with Kristen Chenoweth, Barbara Streisand, and, you know, Bette Midler, to name a few. So I get to work with people who are really talented. My musical director, Brian Nash, my drummers, they've been around since 2018, since I started Cabaret.
Right.
So now it's a well-oiled machine. And I love it because I just keep on changing it up because I'm not going to do the same show. No, right? So next iteration will be more about love in the Love Hotel. But I want the fans to see the show first. And then when I go out back on tour in 2026, it'll be more about what happened in that show.
Is there anything you're nervous about people seeing in that show? Or are you just excited?
No, I'm not. You know, I had a great time. So I had a lot of fun. I feel like I was myself. And it turns out great.
I'm so excited to watch it.
Thank you, darling.
Before I let you go,
Yes.
Countess, what did we learn today?
What did you learn today is what
I learned that elegance really does come from within, and it comes from how comfortable you are in your own skin.
Correct.
And you can't make other people, and elegance is all about making other people comfortable.
Exactly.
And you cannot make other people comfortable if you yourself are not
I'm
comfortable.
not comfortable. Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you're hot, nobody else will.
100%. Well, Countess Luann de Lesseps,
Thank you, Jake.
thank you so much for coming on
Thank
Therapuss.
you. Thank you. This
Oh,
has
we
been
never
awesome.
named. We never named them.
Oh, yes. I'm going to call her Diva Lou.
Diva Lou.
Diva Lou.
Diva Lou.
Diva Lou.
All right. Well, do you want to?
You're the Statue of Liberty. You just don't know it yet, but she will. Diva Lou.
Do you want to give a little bye, pussies?
Oh, bye, pussies. I'm in the wrong camera.
No, that one right there. Just
This. Oh, bye, pussycats. Did I say cats? No. Bye, pussies.
yay.
Keep on serving.